Thanks, RJ. Guys, I think it was just 3 or 4 years ago, I was honored to be an inductee into the Business Hall of Fame, and it was to be with so many great business people and business leaders and entrepreneurs. It is very humbling for me, and today the honorees, we got just such a great class for 2008. It just makes it all the more of an honor to be part of that. I really wasn't involved with JA until I was honored, and I knew about it, but I didn't know what they were doing since high school times, and there wasn't a JA program in our high school, but at South High School, where Angela's from, right, Angela? You remember South? Yeah, that's where my first job was, right down from South High School. And the Bulldogs. We were the Terriers, the school I went to, but sorry about that. But so anyway, but they would have junior achievement there, and the guys I knew were making little business models and selling stuff and so on. I said, that's pretty cool. And then I really never heard much about it. So meanwhile, I was hanging around a pizza place down on Parsons Avenue, and I was, right after my paper route, I think I was about 13 years old, and a pizza place opened, and all they had was an oven, and they needed some help, and out of all the kids in the neighborhood, they chose me to help them, my first job. I get paid by the hour. It was, I think it was because I was taller. There wasn't much qualifications there, so by the luck of the draw. So I started out that first job slicing pepperoni with a paring knife, and it was really, from then on, it was a matter of just looking at a business that started from the very beginnings. And eventually I was able to manage 2 days a week by the time I was 15. And then at 16, they offered to sell me the place. And man, did I get excited about that. Got my dad over there, and he said, I said, Dad, if you'd work weekends, or the weekdays, I'll work the weekends after I play ball, and we can take over this place. No money down, and I added everything up, adding, subtracting. I knew how to do that, and I figured we could pay for the payments. And so Dad, of course, he said, Jim, he said, this pizza business is just a fad, and you got to go to school, and you got to go to college. And so Dad was right. It wasn't the right time. But that's when the seed was planted that, I could actually own a business. I mean, that's from then on. I said, okay, here's the supplies coming in. How much do they cost? This product has to be great. The customers have to be, I got to treat them right so they come back. All those just basic things, And really, business didn't seem that complicated. You'd sell a good product, you bring in the raw materials, you pay your help, pay your rent and utilities. And if you have some left over, you pay your taxes, and then what's left is yours. So, that it really didn't seem that complicated, and I knew I could do it. So at 19 is when I bought Donato's. 40 years later, I was reacquainted again with JA, and I immediately got to know everybody and back acquainted with what the organization is doing. And they took me over to Exchange City, which is BizTown. And there it was, 10-year-olds, 11, 12-year-olds running a city. They had their own currency, their own government. They had sign companies. They had cafes, radio stations. These kids were coming up to me selling the things they made with JA currency. And I said, oh my gosh, this reminds me of what I was able to learn when I was 13. And I was a lucky one because it was just luck of the draw. The rest of the kids in the neighborhood, they didn't get a chance to learn what I did. And I thought when I saw the BizTown, I said, well, how many people you go through here? And I think last year they had 10,000 kids go through the BizTown. And what these kids learn at 10, 11, and 12, and 13, this is the prime time to learn. I might add it's right before puberty. Puberty distracts you as you go on to the. So if you can catch the kids at the right time, the dreams, the seeds are planted and the dreams are created. Since then, BizTown, Exchange City is now BizTown, and there's an opportunity to really grow this with JA. I want to mention that Columbus, Ohio is such a great place to do business. All during this time, I wasn't restricted to just making pizzas on the south end of Columbus on Parsons Avenue. Columbus it's a clean city. Not only clean, but there's no undercurrents going on. If you can get a vendor's license, you can sell your product, and you can go anywhere in Central High and Columbus, Ohio. It's a great place for future entrepreneurs, present entrepreneurs, and the past entrepreneurs. RJ is going to talk to you about where JA is going, but in the simple idea about business, selling your product, and paying the labor and the dues and the rent, and paying your people, and then the taxes, what's left over with yours. I had a little bit left over last year, and I got a hunk of it that's going to go to JA because BizTown needs our support for our future generation of entrepreneurs. Now I want you to have RJ come up here and tell you what's going on.